Um, I'm not trying to teach parents how to parent or anything, so please don't take offence to the video. But I had an interesting conversation with one of my lovely friends who has a disabled son. And children that don't understand the condition would point and laugh, and it's not really fair on the child who's quite able to see and understand that he's being laughed at. So, looking at that, whose responsibility is it to teach the children that they're still people, they're still humans, and to be kind and not so spiteful. I remember when I was really little, I went into town with my mum, and there was a person who was really small, and in my eyes I couldn't understand why this adult was smaller than I was. And so I pointed and I said to my mum, like, "Mum, who's that small person over there, that little person?" And she said to me, "Stop pointing, stop staring, that they're still a person." And when I got home, she put on Willow, and I thought that was an amazing film, and I really, really thought it was fabulous. And then later learnt that people are born with dwarfism, Down syndrome, missing body parts, they get ill and things happen, cleft lip and palate, all sorts of conditions and diseases that scar children, scar humans, and these people grow up. And they're still people, Why do they have to be pointed and laughed at? Well, the children don't realise what effect they're having to the person that they're laughing at, because they're children, so they're not going to understand that bit. But for parents, it's teaching your children a bit of kindness and a bit of compassion. I've got five children, and they've had their moments where they've come back and said something, and I've had to explain to them, is that fair? Is that nice? And I'm quite blessed because they don't behave like that. They're really, really friendly children and very helpful. My eldest was born with a cleft lip and palate, and he had a really tough time. But he's amazing. Incredible child. He's really friendly, he's very outgoing, he's a social butterfly, he's non-stop, he doesn't sit still, but he's great. And I've got 4 other children that are growing up to be wonderful human beings, because they're still people. So I'm not trying to parent a parent. That's my mum saying you can't parent a parent. But parents and teachers, take a few minutes to sit down with your children and give them something else to do other than laugh and point. Accept the people that are different. Allow them into their life. Be compassionate, because those people may see life differently and they may act differently, but they are wonderful human beings. Some of the best human beings to be around are those that are suffering or struggling or have a disability, because they know what it's like to be different, so they're not going to isolate people because you can. When they don't understand, if a child doesn't understand something, they're either going to laugh at it or be scared of it, because they don't understand what emotion to use to teach them. My son come back one day from playing basketball, and he said to me, "Mum, I was at the park and a few children were picking on like an older lad that has Down syndrome." He said, "So I stopped it and I taught the boy how to play basketball, and he really enjoyed it. So he taught him to shoot, he taught him how to bounce the ball." And one of the children that were there, I know his dad, so I spoke to the dad, and the dad spoke to the boy. That boy has grown up to be really, really sweet, and he has a bit more of an understanding that you shouldn't be spiteful or nasty or laugh just because you don't understand them. It's a big thing. It causes mental health later on. It can cause suicides. It can cause health problems. Don't be a reason for somebody not to enjoy their life. Even if your life's not so great, it doesn't mean you have to be spiteful to someone else. I know that unhappy people make unhappy people, but if you're unhappy, try and be around someone that's going to boost your positivity and cheer you up. You know, it's not all that bad. It's a tough life for everybody. We're all struggling and suffering. There's so much going on in the world that we have no control over. It doesn't mean we have to isolate anyone with disabilities. So please, please teach your children. So by January, coming up to the new classes, they accept them and play with these children and enjoy their time with them. They're great people, you know, their little brains and their imagination is incredible. I would be surrounded by children with special needs because they're just incredible little beings. And even the adults are, you know. So please think about what you're doing, how you're reacting, how you're behaving, because your children are learning from you. Much love, many blessings.